Hey guys, wanted to do a quick little, I guess, part two video I did earlier about a story I brought to you dealing with an article, out of South Carolina like 100 years ago about how they used to make black women, Aboriginal women, go back to work, to go work in white folks' houses to take care of them, take care of their kids while they had to leave their houses, not take care of their kids. And if they refuse to go back to work, they could be fined or in prison. You got a lot of them people who like to say slavery was so many years ago, over 100-something years ago. Ain't got nothing to do with them. Their mom and dad didn't have no slaves. They don't have slaves, so why are we coming after them for reparations and all, and to fix the problem that was created years ago? And you come back and try to let them know that, hey, you are benefiting from what happened during slavery, and you're benefiting by what happened during Jim Crow or any other time after slavery. So case in point, bring your story. Like I said before, I brought this story to my mom, and she was saying how, like I said, growing up, they went through the same thing, with her mother. But this is probably in the 50s, 60s. A lot of your parents, a lot of your grandparents were around during that time, and they're still living. So, like I say, if my mom is still living, those people that she grew up with or grew up around, or those white people that she went to school with, those prejudiced people, bigots or whatever, they still living too. And if my mom telling me stories like this, well, their parents are telling them stories too. But it's gonna be from a different perspective. So, but back to the stories. She said how, like I said, my grandmother had to go, same thing, go take care of, go watch these white kids, while their mom go play games or card games or go somewhere get drunk because they didn't work. This is crazy. The white women didn't work, but they needed black women to come and watch their kids and take care of their kids. Leave your kids at home. My mom said she resented that. She hated that. Couldn't stand it because it wasn't right. She said she would walk by the farm road to go home from school, and my grandmother be outside these white people's house on the porch, washing them, make sure they're walking home from school, getting home safely. And a little white girl would come out there and grab my grandmother's hands. And my grandmother's nickname was Muffy. Some people call her Aunt Muff, Grandma Muff, stuff like that when we was growing up. But little white girl, mom said probably like 7, 8 years old, just call her Muff. Will hold her hand and smile looking at my mom while she walked by. My mom said she resented that. But that's, she said it was traumatic. And I believe it, because that had to be traumatic. You at home with your parents, your mother, with that bond, women, females, girls, whatever, sons too, or what have you. And a group of people said, no, you can't stay home and watch your kids and raise your kids and teach your kids to be great families. No, you got to come here, take care of my kids while I go do some bug comb instead of taking care of my own kids. And people don't understand that is traumatic for kids. Most of the people that do things that you don't understand as adults, the majority of the time it has something to do that they went through as children. But you got people who don't want to believe that, but yet they understand that if they get to your kids first and teach them something first as youngins, in schools, in daycares, nannies, whatever. Like I say, they got your kids the majority of the day, they can teach your kids anything. Because the only time you see when they come home, see what homework they got, put them to bed. Wake up tomorrow morning, I'm going back to them folks to learn. So, yeah, like I said, that I can see how that could be traumatic. But that goes to show you why we have to take control of our own destinies for us and our children. Can't let these people do that no more. Yeah, I know everybody doesn't, not in the community maybe right now to do homeschool and stuff like that, but you can still, when they get home, that means you just gotta work just as hard. And just like how you gotta work hard to keep them off them cell phones and social media when they out there, and you gotta see what they're doing 24/7 and stuff. It's a little different than it was back before the invention of this social media, but it's just part of parenting. So when they get home, you gotta work just as hard to see what they learn at school, what they've been brainwashed with out there in the world, and then bring them on back home mentally. So whenever anyone looks at you crazy and acts like they don't understand why we as a people think the way we do, why we feel the way we do, why we know we're owed something, just let them know that yes, you benefited from slavery. Yes, you are benefiting from Jim Crow. I don't care if you are my neighbor. I don't care if I do have a nice size house, a little land in the backyard. It doesn't matter. I don't have a whole neighborhood of that. I don't have a whole neighborhood of Aboriginals on my street. Got a few, but not a whole block, not a whole neighborhood. Not a whole city block or what have you. Just a few and far between. And it was hard to get in here, and I worked, and and everybody else gonna have to work, but it's like a mindset. I was fortunate enough to have parents that worked, had careers, went to school while they had careers, and instilled something in me so that even when I made mistakes growing up, the older I got, I saw what they did and I could fall back on it. And so I knew what I needed to do. I knew what kind of life I wanted to have, and I knew how hard I had to work. But like I say, it's a mindset that we have to change. Teach our kids, hey, I may not have had this, I may not have had that, you may not got it right now, but we're gonna do something to make sure you do have it and that your kids have it. But anyway, that's all I got. Just wanted to tell that quick little story. I don't want to be here for too long. Hey, again, thank y'all for tuning in to the Growth AD Network. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be notified. And don't forget to comment. And remember, we're always grassrooting our wealth, tradition, and heritage. The Aboriginal descendants. And until next time, keep growing. Peace.